What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the Tanner Martin Outdoors YouTube channel. Now, if you're not already and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell. That way you get post notifications every single time we post a new video. That way you guys don't miss out on any of the awesome content we got coming out. Now, today is kind of a mixture of multiple different videos. We're going to be talking about the October Monster Bass box. We're going to be talking about a new release from my tungsten company, Tmo Tungsten, and we're also going to be showing some fish catches from this past week. And we got out and did some fall fishing with the nice warm weather that we've been having here in Indiana. So we got plenty of content for you guys to see today. But now, first off, I want to talk about my tungsten company. If you guys were not aware, recently we released with Tmo Tungsten a wide variety of different size drop shot weights. These are cylinder drop shot weights with the line pinch where you don't even have to tie it. You just put your line through the slot and slide it up. It holds on there. That way you can change the height that you want your drop shot weight. How big of a leader you want. So you guys can check out all the sizes. They're available from 3/16 all the way to ½ ounce on TannerMartinOutdoors.com, or click the top link in the description and you guys will be able to check out the wide variety of sizes of tungsten drop shot weights. And we also restocked on all of our flipping weights and also added a size or two that you guys have been asking for. So head over there, TannerMartinOutdoors.com, and check it out. So next up, it's a new month. It's October, so that means a brand new Monster Bass box. We're gonna go through it really quick before we get into some fishing footage from this past week, see what's in the box, see what my thoughts are, and hopefully we'll be able to, if the weather stays good, we can get back out on the water and test some of these baits. But let's check it out and see what came in this month's box. So first off, we got a Vicious MC65. This is a 4 to 8 foot diving crankbait in chartreuse sides, black back color. So this is basically I would call it a medium diving crankbait. So a lot of your fish that are still transitioning up, this is going to be perfect for. You know, in some lakes with dirtier water, this is going to be a good color. But those transitioning fish that are just now moving up shallow, following the bait up, this is going to be perfect for that. Next up, we got the Monster Bass Hammerhead Square Bill Crankbait. This is in crawl monster color, and it looks like a shad pattern. So those fish that have maybe already moved up, this is going to be perfect for those fish to catch those. Shad pattern is obviously perfect in the fall. There is, you know, they're mostly feeding on shad rather than in the spring they're feeding on crawfish. So this is going to be a good bait for fish that have already moved up. Maybe it's a little late for that medium diving crankbait and those fish have already pushed up shallow with the bait. This is going to be perfect for them. I do like how it has a red hook in the front. In muddier water, that's going to come into play really well. It'll give a little flash to the bait, and also it'll give the fish something to key on because that's one of the brightest parts of the bait, and it's also in the front. So if they're going to attack that, they're going to get hooked no matter what. Next up, we have the Reaction Strike XRM80 jerkbait here. This is a 2 to 4 foot diving jerkbait. It's got 2 hooks. They're katana hooks, so obviously really high quality, sharp hooks. And this is actually in collaborations with Messer Baits. If you guys don't know, Messer Baits is a guy, I believe he's from Kentucky, Tennessee or Kentucky, and he hand paints baits. So this is in collaboration with him. He hand painted this just for Monster Bass. So it says that right on the back and right on the front, in collaboration with Messer Baits Custom Patterns. But it's a sweet little jerkbait. It's in like a little shad pattern. No name for it, but it's a sweet little pattern, a smaller size jerkbait. So this is going to be targeting your smaller bait fish. A lot of times this year, those bass may get keyed into the smaller bait. Ooh, I almost dropped the box. As I was saying, a lot of times this year, those bass will get keyed in to this little smaller bait, so this is going to work perfect for them, and it's in a pretty cool pattern that I don't think I've ever seen on the market before, so that's surely to catch some fish. Next up, we got a pack of Big Bite Baits Warmouth Shad 3.5 inch, and I actually want to take one of these out if I can and check it out. This is a pretty sweet looking swim bait. You could put this on a little hook and maybe just a little belly weighted, like 3 or 4/0 swim bait hook. Throw it out there. I could see this being real key around docks, around some grass, Just like with that jerkbait, those fish that are keying in on the smaller shad, this is gonna work really well. It's got a really realistic tail. It almost looks like a crawdad tail. If you can see that there, it's almost got like craw pinchers, but obviously it's vertical, so it's gonna swim through the water really well. Put this on like a 2, 3, maybe 4/0 at the most, probably like a 3/0 belly weighted swim bait hook, and throw this around some grass and docks, and you're going to catch some fish. Sweet little bait, and I'm excited to give it a shot. Next up, we got the world famous Strike King Thunder Cricket. This is in a black and blue color, so really good for muddy water. I know a lot of lakes around here in the fall time, they're either really clear or really muddy. There's not really any in between, so this is going to work perfect in those lakes that are muddy. This is in a 1/2 ounce size, which is my favorite size. I almost always throw 1/2 ounce for my bladed jigs, just because you can keep your rod tip up and fish it up in the water column, or fish it, put your rod tip down and fish it down in the water column, and you don't really have to change your speeds. You know, if you're throwing a 3/8 and you want to fish it down in the water column, you got to really slow it down and make sure your rod tip's down. Well, with the 1/2 ounce, you can reel it at the same speed up or down, and it's going to get to the depth that you want it to. So that's awesome. Strike King Thunder Cricket, you can't go wrong with them. Bladed jigs are just awesome. Next up, we got a pack of spear point hooks. These are actually a pretty cool looking hook. This looks like to be a sample pack. There's a 2, a 3, and a 4/0 hook in here. Pretty cool looking hooks, and I'm excited to try these out. They have like a V bend in the bottom, and apparently that's supposed to increase when you do hook up with a fish. It's supposed to keep them pinned better. So I'm excited to try that out. That's gonna be pretty sweet. They look like good hooks, so I'm excited to like throw this around like a worm or something, and take that 4/0 next summer and put it on a big worm. I'm excited to try that. But you could almost take the big bite baits and rig it up with one of these, and just put a little Tmo Tungsten weight in the front of it, like maybe a 3/16 ounce Tmo Tungsten weight. Just peg it instead of using a belly weighted hook, and just use these spear points, and just put a Tmo Tungsten weight in the front and pair those together, and that'd work just as well too. That's actually a good way to try that. Next up, we got the Chase Baits paddle bait. This is a 3-inch swim bait. This is in vanilla ice color, and it's actually like a half translucent, half pink. So it's gonna be really good for clear water. Put this on like a 1/4 ounce swim bait head, throw it around grass. I could have really used these the other day in the footage that you're getting ready to watch. I was fishing really clear water around grass. The water had fallen on Geist. I was fishing Geist Reservoir. The water had fallen 3-4 foot at least, and it was real clear, and I could see big fish swimming all around me. So if I would have had these then, could have rigged this up on like a 1/4 ounce swim bait head, backed way off, cast it out there, made a long cast, and probably got a couple of those big fish to bite that realistic boot tail swim bait there. So I'm excited to try those out as well. Last but not least, we have the Bama baits. Just a stick bait here. It's infused with Bama fuel, so hey, Bama fuel, I've never heard of that, but it's got to catch fish. So these are obviously Bama baits from the state of Alabama, which is probably my favorite state to bass fish. I love Guntersville, I love Alabama. Alabama's just so much better than Indiana, but that's besides the point. Stick bait here, watermelon red, perfect to wacky rig, throw around grass, throw around docks this time of year for those fish that are a little bit more finessey. You could take the spear point hooks here, the 3 or the 4/0, rig it up on here, Texas rig style, fish it weightless, or put a 3/16 or 1/4 ounce Tmo Tungsten weight on the front of it, peg it, throw it around grass, and catch fish. So that's pretty cool that these spear points have multiple applications here. You can throw them with the big bite baits, Warmouth, or you can throw them with the stick bait here. So that's pretty sweet. It wouldn't be a Monster Bass box without a sticker, so we have the Alex Rudd, the famous Alex Rudd fishing sticker here. And then of course we got the little pamphlet with all the information, what each bait costs, and some information. Always cool to check out. Alright, so that's enough of me rambling about this stuff. Let's get into the fishing footage. This was last week on Geist Reservoir. I went out by myself, just doing some fall fishing. The weather here in Indiana, it got real cold. It almost went from like summer to winter. It was low 30s, high in the 50s, and now it has warmed back up. Now we have like lows in the 40s, highs in the 60s, 70s. So the fall, we're finally getting our fall. So I hope you guys enjoy the fishing footage and watching me catch some fish on the Frog. And like I mentioned earlier, there was a couple big fish that swam by the boat, and I was like, holy crap, those are really big fish. And the cool thing actually about this is the day that I went, it was really slick calm, there was hardly any wind, and the water was really clear and low, so those fish could see me from a long ways away. So actually the next day, one of my buddies went out. I told him to go fish in this area where I'd seen these big fish, and he sent me a couple pictures, a couple 5-pounders that he caught. The only difference was there was a stiff wind the day he went, so he was able to fish a chatterbait, and it kind of made a ripple on the water, so the fish couldn't see him from a long ways away. So I'll put those pictures up of the fish he caught. So I hope you guys enjoy the footage, and as always, thanks for watching. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, he scared the crap out of me. I wasn't paying attention. I screwed that up. Oh, I just scared a bunch of stuff. Corrado. Here's another like 3-pounder swimming by. There's one. Oh, that's a carp. But there's like a 3-pounder, and there's like a 1.5 pounder right there next to me. Oh, there's one. That's a big fish. Holy, that's a 4-pounder. Boat full of a 4-pounder. You doing anything? I'm by myself. You want to come out? Oh, that's a big. He's perfect right in the roof of the mouth. He's 3.5. No, I'm not going to. Here's what he looks like. I'm gonna say he's like a 340, 355. Let's see here. He's a 365. Oh, sucker's fat, right at 3 pounds. Guys, all I've been fishing today is I've just been throwing this frog on this matted up grass around the bank. I started around the islands because I figured that, you know, there's fish there all the time in the summer, so they're gonna stay right in that grass. And I ended up seeing a whole bunch of, I missed one that's probably 4 on my frog. You guys saw that. And then, you know, I saw multiple like 5-pounders, one over 6 swim by the boat, 3.5s, and missed one punch, and I finally caught that one like 360 something. But all I'm doing is throwing a white frog to mimic shad and throwing it right into grass. Just throw it up on top of the mat, reel it back to the boat, make sure you reel it all the way to the boat, because a lot of times they'll follow it back. But that was another good one. It was kind of cool. I saw him eat it, swimming underneath the water with it. I wasn't sure if he had it, but I could see him swimming with my bait, so that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can't catch another one.